Hello, everyone. Welcome to Unstoppable MS with No Boundaries. Today, I have a special guest. I just had the opportunity to meet Kelly. Kelly, you are so wonderful. I enjoyed talking to you. Kelly and I bonded
Absolutely.
so well, so fast.
Absolutely.
I'm
You're a
so looking
pleasure,
forward to
Rhonda.
this. Oh, thank you, Kelly. You so are too. You are. I'm so looking forward to interviewing you. Okay, Kelly, we all going through this wonderful thing of MS. We have, Can you tell me and share your diagnosis story with us when you were diagnosed and how the story that you
Absolutely. I was 25 years old, so I've had it now for 30 years. This is my 30th year. I was recently married and moved to Ohio, so I was under a lot of stress. And I was cooking one night, and the first thing I noticed was I went to hit the hood over your stove. I had buttons to turn the fan on, and I went to hit one of the buttons and I couldn't get my finger on it.
had.
And it just kept moving. So I had to hold my finger to stabilize it. And I thought that was weird. Then after that, I started to get tingling in my legs. And you know how you try to make excuses. Well, I'm crossing my legs too much. I'm wearing the wrong shoes. So that happened. Then I got Bell's palsy.
Mm.
So after all of these just little things, I went to my doctor. My doctor said it's probably an inner ear infection. So he put me on an antibiotic and told me to come back in 2 weeks if I wasn't better. And I wasn't better. So I went back and he said, well, sometimes it takes a little bit longer for the antibiotics to work, which sounded weird to me. But I was relieved. And he said, give it another week. And then if you're still having problems, call me.
Mhm.
So I said to him, I'm so relieved that you said it can take longer because I was afraid it was MS or muscular dystrophy or something. And he said goodbye to me. And when I got home from work that day, he had left me a message that said, you need to see a neurologist. Here's the number. And if they can't get you in before next week, let me know. I'm putting you in the hospital tonight.
Hmm. Wow.
So
If I remember right, because I know we have so many illnesses out here, Bell palsy is when the side of your mouth droops a little bit. Is that Bell
it's your
palsy?
whole side of your face goes, it's paralyzed.
Okay,
So
I
you
do remember.
can't blink with the one side of your face. I had to sleep with like a bandana over my eye to shut it. I
Mm.
smiled with half of my face.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Do you remember which
So
side it was on? What side
it
that
was on the
affected?
right side.
On the right side.
Hmm.
It's interesting that you said that when you talked about the pausing. Honestly, when I was working and I went to press the button on the elevator, I had a hard vibration go through my body and I couldn't press the button on the elevator. That was my first
Oh,
symptom. And
okay.
they call them seizures. Did they ever diagnose why you had the pausing?
Nope.
Never
No,
found
they
it.
never did. They
It
never
never
did.
happened again.
I, I do from time to time get coordination issues,
Mm-hmm.
but I can hide it. Nobody would ever see it. It's one of those things that just I know is happening.
Okay.
So,
That's very interesting. Also, you said that the doctor kind of said Bell palsy. They, of course, always diagnose with other things before they find out the right thing, but he knew
right,
right away to take you to a neurologist to see, more
right.
deep stuff. That was pretty good.
Yeah, he really didn't know until I said to him, I'm so glad that you said that the antibiotic was still working
Mm-hmm.
because I was afraid it was MS or Bell's palsy. And he was a really older doctor. So I
Mm-hmm.
think when I said that, I kind of triggered something in him.
Okay. Did you know
So
someone with MS already that make you think that maybe it was an MS symptom?
no, no, I just knew that it had to do with coordination. And I don't know how I knew. It was some kind of instinct that,
I will call you Dr. Kelly Baswell. I will call you that. So next time I need a diagnosis, I know who to call.
Exactly. I
That was
got
good
you.
diagnosis for yourself. You were right
I
there.
got you.
Yes. Now, Kelly, can you tell me what are some common misconceptions about multiple sclerosis that you like to clear up? I know
You
we have a
know,
lot.
that's a tough one. I I think that everybody thinks that people with MS are in pain
Hmm.
because I know a lot of MS patients that that's an extreme um, symptom of theirs. I don't have any. I don't have
Awesome.
pain from my MS.
Good.
Thank God.
That's right.
So,
Absolutely. So the
yeah.
misconception that we're
So,
all in pain.
right.
That's great. Because like you said, now can you tell me how the MS has impacted your personal life and both in terms of challenges and your goals? Can you tell me how it's growth?
My goals, it's definitely made me much more of a positive person
Yes.
and a fighter. I don't accept anything. I because of all that I've been through,
Mm-hmm.
I know my body. I know it well. So I know what my limits are
Mm-hmm.
and I continue to push. Um and what was the other question?
Okay, has it impacted your daily life? But
Yes,
that is kind of
it
the impact.
definitely has. Um, I see. Here's a crazy thing. I from my initial time I got MS,
Mm-hmm.
I steadily declined. I had a few flare ups that made me worse. They would have to treat me with the steroids, but it just got worse and worse and worse. Uh, and up until about, I want to say 3 years ago, I was just I when I was outside of the house, I had to use a walker. When I was in
Okay.
the house, I could walk and hold on to walls or the couch
Yes.
or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I was listening to a different podcast and they interviewed a doctor who made this supplement that they said was having a positive impact on MS. And
Hmm.
it was high dose biotin and something called NAD. I don't know what it is, but I didn't care what it was as long as it
That's
had
right
an
here.
impact, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so what I did, they said that if you tried it for 90 days and you didn't see an impact, we'll
Mm-hmm.
give you your money back.
Okay.
And after 90 days, I really saw an impact. And
Really?
Rhonda, I since then, I it has been magic for me.
Oh
I
wow.
you can ask
Can you
Dion.
share that
Yes.
with us?
It's you know what? I have it here
I'd
with
love
me. I
to.
can show you. Will you get in trouble if I show the bottle?
I don't think so, no. I mean, I
Okay.
think that, because all of us want help. And if you feel, I mean,
Yes,
I'm
it's
like you. If
called.
I hear someone say, I love when someone tells me that what
Okay.
I thought about bee stings.
It's my mother-in-law did that for a while for arthritis. It's called
Okay.
myotin.
Myotin. Okay. Thanks for
And
sharing that. Because anybody
no
that sees
problem.
that, and you definitely see impact, do you take it daily?
I do. You take it 2
Okay.
tablets a day. It's chewable. It tastes so good. I could eat more if I
Okay.
wasn't afraid it would have an adverse effect.
Yes.
But I literally have not even used my walker
Oh,
in since I can tell you exactly when it was. I was in the hospital last year for COVID. I used it to get to the hospital that day. I haven't
okay.
used it since March of last year.
Beautiful, Kelly. So you're saying that you are outside of the home without a rollator or anything? You use just nothing, no
Nothing.
cane or anything?
Nothing. I've seen
Wow.
people. I saw a friend from work that I hadn't seen for a long time, and when she
Mm-hmm.
saw me, she cried.
Oh, I
It's had
know.
that much of an impact on me. And
Oh.
before I started doing that, I couldn't walk to my mailbox.
Oh, wow. That's
So,
amazing story to hear.
yeah, I'm
And
not
like I said, we learn from other people. So this to me, I mean, I'm not saying it will work from everybody.
right,
However, like they said, 30-day money back guarantee. And if we can find anything, like they said, there's no cure. We know that. But
right,
anything that
right,
can help us, I'm
right.
looking for anything that can help. I mean, I'm willing to
R-
try. I'm willing to
Exactly,
try. So, and you
exactly.
are being treated for multiple sclerosis as well. So you have treatment that you're going through.
Actually, right now, I was on Ocrevus,
Okay.
but I had to stop it when I got the COVID
Mm-hmm.
because that was, like I said, last March. I was in the hospital for 2 weeks because it went from COVID pneumonia to a bacterial pneumonia.
Mm-hmm.
So my immune system went so low that they took me off of the Ocrevus, and now I'm receiving IVIG to
Okay.
boost my immune system because it just hasn't recovered yet.
And you're still doing well.
Yeah,
What a blessing. Oh, Kelly,
it's
that's
amazing.
awesome to
I'm so
hear.
grateful.
Yes, yes. And like Kelly said, she's not really advertising it, but I'm sure that anybody, if we meet someone, there's going to be people with multiple sclerosis that may see that will see this podcast. We have family, we friends that looks at this stuff, and anything. I mean, we want something to help us. I mean, we know there's no cure,
Yes,
but we want anything that can help us. So I am willing to try whatever.
right.
Not the bee stings,
Absolutely.
not the bee
Absolutely.
stings.
I know that's one that I just my sister-in-law and mother-in-law, they were going, and they it was helpful for them for their my sister-in-law has fibromyalgia. My
Yes.
mother-in-law had rheumatoid arthritis, and it helped them.
Mm-hmm.
But I just couldn't bring myself to do it.
No. I don't like shots, so of course I don't want to be shot by a lot of bees. It's like
Exactly.
I'm panicking, like woo
Exactly.
woo.
Nope. No, thank you.
I have known to get out of the car when I see a bee come in my car. Okay, so I'm not gonna have a lot coming. For all that doesn't that have not heard that, but at one time there was an article saying that bee stings can help people with multiple sclerosis. So Kelly and I are referring to that bee stings were supposed to help. However, you have to have a
Right?
real strong mind to want to take a bee sting.
I'll do this myself. I'm not going to rely on a bee.
That's right. That's right. And I'm always willing to try something and see what happens, but that's when I won't. Okay. Now, now, Kelly, I know we talked, and I know you said you love to cook. I think that's amazing because the kitchen and I are not friends. It
Oh,
takes me
no.
long. I think you've heard it from other podcasts that an hour meal or 20-minute meal takes me 2 hours. But
Right.
Kelly is a good in the kitchen, so we're gonna go to your
It's
house for dinner.
hard. It really is hard to when you can't stand for long and you have to cut things up and you inevitably get cut every time. My husband cooks a lot, so I'm very
Mhm.
lucky. But when I do cook, I like to make a recipe that, I like to use my imagination. I don't know. I just enjoy that time to put music on and sit there and be in my own head. It's relaxing to me.
We like you, Kelly. We like you. Us MS patients like people like you. So now, what symptoms do you find to be the most difficult to manage then, and how do you cope with them?
What we discussed just a little bit ago, the heat bothers me terrible.
Mhm.
If it,
Yes.
and you can see it on me as soon as I start to get overheated, you can see it in my face. And my husband will say to me, "You're done. Go inside. Get in front of a fan." So
Yes.
he's amazing when it comes to that.
Oh,
So the heat bothers me. It affects me for a couple days after I get overheated.
yes.
And my other two probably most bad symptoms are I get foot drop, so
Hmm.
which has gotten much better with the myotin. So when I get overtired and I'm doing too much, my foot drops more. And if the people don't know what that is when you're walking and your foot, instead of picking up, it kind of drops down so it can make you trip over your own foot. So if I get overtired, that's a big thing. I have to manage my fatigue. to make
Hmm.
sure I can do the things I want to do.
You
So
know,
I
Kelly, it's amazing talking to you because I'm hearing, everybody's MS is different.
mhm.
And starting from the pushing of the button to what you're saying to me now, you have a lot of my symptoms. And I haven't shared my story,
Really?
but you have a lot of my symptoms.
Okay.
Now, that's why I'm amazed at you saying you're not having to use any walking things because with that drop foot, now, like she was explaining to you, your foot just falls. Mine would dangle in the air and then plop down. So, of
Oh,
course, I would trip when I was going through that. And
right.
now, when I'm walking, my toe will hit the ground first because it's dropping too fast. And
Yes.
I trip. So, that's why I'm a wall walker, like you said.
Right.
In the home, I try not to use the things that we
Your
have to use,
walker?
like my Nike rollator here.
Right.
My son gets a little upset because when they have to come pick me up off the ground because I'm being hard headed. But you
Exactly.
are amazing because you're outside of the home and you have the drop foot, but you are a superstar because you are doing it and you have the confidence knowing, okay, I'm heated. I'm going in because I don't want to take the chance of the falls with the drop foot.
Right. Right. I try to, on my good days and when the weather is good, I
Mhm.
always try to go for a walk. We have a campsite that we have, and our
Mhm.
campers there, and I'm there pretty much all week long during the summer.
Mhm.
So a lot of the campers aren't there during the week, and I love
Mhm.
it because they get mad at me because I go for walks, and they're like,
Mhm.
if nobody's here and you fall, and I
Mhm.
just tell them I would rather fall when nobody sees it. And because we get good at falling.
Oh
I hate to
yes.
say that's one of my strong points, but I'm a good
Right.
faller. But I'd rather do it when nobody sees it because then it affects me psychologically. Then I'm embarrassed. Then I'm mad at myself. So I like to do it when nobody's around, and I've never fallen, knock on wood. But
Awesome.
that's my embarrassment is just I hate it. I can't stand it. And I've fallen in so many bad places. I'm
Yes.
in airports and it's just
Mhm.
so horrifying.
Yes, ma'am, Kelly. I'm telling you, you are my twin. I've fallen in the
It's
airport. I've
terrible.
fallen in the grocery store. I've fallen in the parking lot. I've fallen in the kitchen.
Yes.
My kitchen is my favorite one. It's like, so maybe that's why I don't
Yes.
like the kitchen, huh?
That's it. That's it. It's not the
that's my
cooking.
that's my answer, and I'm gonna stick with it. So
Oh goodness.
yes, and you know what? You kind of really did tell me about your support system, which I think is wonderful. Your husband sounds like he's amazing with the support system. I have a
Yes.
son. My sons are very great. If they hear a noise, they know I'm on the floor. They're there for me. So
Exactly.
and I'm trying hard to stay on my 2 feet. The
Yeah.
rollator, even Kelly, I have the tendency to forget to put the brakes on my rollator.
Oh
So,
no. Oh
so,
no.
so the rollator goes across the floor, and I'm on the floor in back of it. so,
Yeah, I
so I,
know. Oh, it's and then you can't get up
that's
unless you
right.
buy something to the stairs or the couch. I
That's
get
right.
that.
That's right. So that's what they
Yeah,
say.
it's
Make sure someone's around you when you do that. When you make the falls, they always say make some. so I get it,
right,
but like you
right.
said, it's most embarrassing.
And it is. That's the hardest part. It just hurts your ego. You
yes.
know,
Yes.
I but I have 2 daughters that they're also and my one daughter would always say if she'd hear a noise, "You all right?" You know,
that's
she'd yell
right.
from the
That's
other room.
right. that is so amazing, but that's right.
I know.
now you know what. Now, when you talk about the heat, I
Mhm.
don't know how this affects you, but Kelly, the problem that I have missed many family reunions. I've missed many family events because most of the events are always held in the summertime.
Yes.
And are
Yes.
you finding yourself in that situation as well?
Yes. I I try not to miss things.
Hmm.
I as hard as I can. I have missed a few, uh, but what I will do more is warn them that it's a bad day, it's a hot day, and tell them ahead of time how I'm feeling.
Hmm.
And if I have to leave early, please don't give me a hard time.
Yes. Yes.
because I mean, at least then I feel like I'm making an effort
Hmm.
and feelings won't be hurt,
That makes
you know?
sense. That makes a lot
So,
of sense. Now, and I guess I have a problem because people tell me, well, Rhonda, come on, we're going to Alabama or Georgia for a reunion. You know, Georgia's a hot place. And
right.
they say, well, you can stay in the hotel. Do I really want to go to a family reunion and stay in the hotel when everybody's at
Exactly.
home?
What's the point of going to the reunion if you can't go to the reunion?
Exactly. So it
Yeah,
has
that's
really
tough.
it affected my life with that because of the heat. The heat is very bad, and I'm sorry that you deal with the hill, but I'm glad you know your boundaries when to say, "Okay, enough is enough.
Yes.
It's hot
Right.
enough."
I try. I try. I
Hmm.
do get stubborn. I do get stupid with it sometimes because
Hmm.
I don't want to miss out on the fun, you know?
Yeah, yeah. We
But
don't want to miss that. You're a
yeah,
superwoman. That's right. That's right. Now, and I know that people have heard this, and I know that we are. I love your personality. I love your smiling. You seem like you're always happy.
I try.
Jovial is the best, you know? But I know every now and then they say stress. We all know that stress is very, very, very bad for multiple sclerosis.
Yes.
If
Yes.
people don't know that when you stress yourself out, we have the worst days. We can send ourselves into a remission. I mean, not remission,
A
but a
relapse.
relapse. So I
Yes.
would like to ask you, because you are jovial all the time, and I know sometimes something may get to you. How do you manage your stress, and how do you maintain a positive outlook?
I My mind is kind of programmed to find a silver lining in everything. I'm a firm believer in everything happens for a reason.
Hmm.
So that's kind of my mantra, if
Hmm.
you will. I j- and then if I need to take a day in bed and just stay there and have a picnic and watch some movies, my husband is very supportive when it comes to that. You know, I can just tell him I need to check out, and he's good with it. So, and you know, he'll cook, and so it's kind of a team effort, but I let myself feel my feelings
Hmm.
because you
Hmm.
can't push it down. You have to tell yourself, okay, feel sorry for yourself today. Feel what you feel today. Tomorrow is a new day and we're
That's
starting
right.
over.
There you go. That's love it. I love it. That is right, and that is the best attitude. You know what? If you and if everybody know, if you woe is me, your body's gonna go into a woe is me. If you stay
Yes,
positive, I think I mentioned before, it takes more muscles to frown than it does to smile, and make your day, and you'll see your whole
100%.
attitude will change. I like that in you, Kelly.
100%. I
I knew I
learned
felt
that
that.
when I was younger, before any of this, I was a waitress.
Mm-hmm.
And no matter what was going on in life, no matter how bad things were at home or at school or wherever, you go in and you fake a smile for your
Yes.
whole shift. By the time you leave, you feel better.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's that simple. Get out of your head, pretend you're happy for a few hours,
That's right.
and
And
you'll
keep it
overcome
going.
it.
And you'll feel happy when you leave then, right? you,
100%.
you know, as a service representative, I was always told when you talk to a customer, you put a mirror in front of you, and the face that you're showing on your face when you're talking to that customer is what they hear.
100%.
Yes, yes,
100%. I've been in sales for 20 years now, well, with one company, but longer than that.
yes.
I I make it a point still when I'm on the phone, I
Hmm.
smile
Yes,
because it
same.
comes across. It really does. My family calls it my work voice.
Okay, you have my family. my,
So
my
we're
son even said,
twins.
even when you're doing the podcast, he says you even sound like you're doing a work voice. It's like this is my voice. He said, not when you're at home, not when you're fussing at us.
Exactly. That's
But,
because I don't
and
have
it's
to be
like
mean to my customers.
that's right. That's right. So that is so true. I love that, Kelly. Your personality is just awesome. You're amazing. You are
Oh, thank
amazing.
you so much. I
Now,
appreciate that so much.
yes, and I would like to ask you about your lifestyle changes and treatments that have made significant difference to you. Is there anything or made a difference for you? I know the
Treatments as
medicine.
far as medications?
Well, the medicine you said that did make a difference. That one pill that you're trying. The Ocrevus, because I know a lot of people may not know, because some people have not been to seminars. Now, I went to a lot of seminars. I don't know if you've ever been, but they don't know
Yes.
all the different medications that are out there. So, can you give them a little explanation of what the Ocrevus was, or they don't know?
Yes, absolutely. It was an infusion that we got every 6 months. And it took about 4 hours every 6 months, which is way better than the other medications I was on. I was on
Mhm.
Tysabri that was monthly, and then Avonex, which I had to give myself a shot. So Ocrevus every 6 months was a fantastic option. And it
Mhm.
really was working well for me. So
Mhm.
till
Mhm.
COVID
And,
came along.
and then COVID, but you're still doing well, so that's a
Yes.
blessing.
Yeah.
That's a
I
blessing.
To me it's important to continue to work my legs, to continue stay active. And there were days I had to walk with my walker. There were
Mhm.
days I had to walk with my cane.
Mhm.
But eventually I got my legs strong enough that now I can do it. And Rhonda, I'm not going to kid you. There's days it's not pretty. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
especially
Yeah.
with the leg drop,
Mhm.
people are like, "Are you okay?" But I do it.
Yes.
I do it. And if I have to stop for a minute, I stop for a minute.
Mm. You follow your body, what your body is telling you. You push it, but
Exactly.
at the same token, if your body tells you enough is enough, you have to listen to it.
Right. Knowing your
Mhm.
body really, I think, is the most important thing with MS.
Mhm.
Know what you can do, know what you can't, and know where the limits are.
Yes. That makes a lot of sense. Yes. Now, there's a lot of people out here. I don't know. You mentioned that you had it for 30 years.
Mhm.
I've had mine for 32 years now. So, but I've heard these violet, they had no medications. I think you came along when they had a medication. Is that correct?
I started right after the first medication, the first intermuscular shot
Injection.
was FDA approved. So I was
Yes.
like one of the few first people that started Avonex.
Okay. All right. Fantastic. That's what I thought. So then, now since we have so many new people being diagnosed, can you give advice? What would you give to advice for someone who was just recently diagnosed? And I know you told us a lot because what you're telling us is key, the personality, but I'm sure you can give us a lot more that tell them. What would you tell them if they told you, Kelly, I was recently diagnosed? What would you say to them?
I would say it's very important to, like I said, feel your feelings. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to be pissed off.
Mm-hmm.
Have your feelings. Then the new day, the next day, start over.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's very important to educate yourself. You talked about going to the seminars.
Mm-hmm.
I went to probably almost 100 of them, and I
Mm-hmm.
continued to go because I wanted to educate myself and learn about new medications. I wanted to hear other people's experiences
Yes.
because if you communicate with people, that's where you learn their tricks,
Mm-hmm.
because we don't know how to do this in the beginning. It's scary.
Yes.
And you have to open up to people and don't be afraid to tell them the embarrassing things because there's
Mm.
embarrassing things.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I used to be one to shy away because of that, but yes, and you have to
Right.
let them know
It's
they have those days.
so, yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
guess to me, those are the things I would tell people to don't push your feelings down, have your feelings,
Mm-hmm.
and then do what you can to stay positive and surround yourself with people that make you laugh and that make you feel loved.
Yes. That's what I say.
It's so important. A hug means everything,
Oh, yes. No woe
you
is me
know?
time for that, right? No woe is me.
Right. No, no.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. And I do agree, learning. I was teased back in the day when I would go to the seminars. my family and say, "Oh, you're going to seminar, you just want to eat." No, I'm
No.
learning. And then we
Right.
call our MS family, to talk to people with MS, hear their
Right.
stories, see what they're going through, and it teaches you how to move
Absolutely. And if you get dinner out of it,
on. So be it, huh? Another day I don't
exactly.
have to worry about cooking.
Exactly.
That's
But yeah,
right.
you learn so much and you're hearing stories of people because the MS patients would get up there and talk,
Hmm.
and not a woe is me kind of thing, just telling their story, and you learn from that.
Absolutely. And just doing these podcasts, like talking to you, talking to Dion, talking to the other gentleman, this is my third podcast, and even
Okay.
hearing their stories. Every story I'm hearing is teaching me something new. And I really appreciate this, what you telling me about the Bell palsy. They thought you had Bell palsy,
Hmm.
and we get misdiagnosed quite often in the beginning.
Yes.
So, mhm.
Yeah, because at that point when I went to the neurologist, it took them 2 years from that point to diagnose me
Mm.
officially, because they did the MRI of my brain,
Mm-hmm.
and then they said I had it. But then they gave me a spinal tap, and then they said I didn't have it. Then they gave
Mm.
me a second spinal tap, still didn't have it. And then after 2 years, they gave it back to me and said it was a definitive diagnosis because of my symptoms.
Oh, wow. Yes.
So, and I found out years later, I was going to the Mellon Center and I found out that I was the worst on case of MS that my neurologist had ever seen, because I
Wow.
went down so quickly. I
Okay.
didn't find that out until probably 10 years ago.
So you were considered the progressive at MS at that time? Is that the one where, because
I, they said it was relapse remitting,
okay.
but it was the worst case of onset or relapsing remitting. They just
Yeah.
couldn't get me to stabilize. I was on the steroids, both the solumedrol and the prednisone, the 15-day course. They were
Mm-hmm.
doing that every 3 months
Mm.
for a year and a half.
Wow. And for all
So,
who doesn't know what the relapsing remitting means, that we have good days, we have bad days, we have setbacks, we can bounce back from them. Where there's some people with multiple sclerosis that just totally decline, and that's called progressive.
mhm,
So we are blessed in that area, because there's so many different types. There's some
right.
people that have MS. Sounds like that may be a Kelly right now, where you can't even see the symptoms, which I wonder which you, you
Oh,
know,
you can
you know.
see them. You can see them, but
Okay,
I'm better than I was, and to me,
right.
that's as good as a cure, really.
There you are. That's right. That's right. um, Now I know. Can you tell me? I know you talked about your husband. I think that's wonderful. And I was going to ask you how MS influenced your relationships with your family and your friends. I know it did.
It's my friends and family are just amazing. I
Yes.
Everybody is supportive. You know, I tend to, if th- a person can't understand me and they make me feel negative about something that I don't ultimately have control of,
Hmm.
then I don't have use for them. I I keep people in my life that support me and show me love.
That's nice. That's
So,
good. Well, how can you not give you love? When you have a personality like that, how can you not?
that's right. You're so
How can
sweet.
you not? Have you and discovered any unexpected positive things that happen with your MS?
Yes, for sure. Friendships I have made through this disease,
Yes.
I could almost say it's been worth it. I
Oh,
have made lifelong friends through
mhm.
MS. I really have. Dion, for one, your
Mhm.
cousin, the one you did the podcast on,
Yes.
she is my soul sister. We say we're
Oh,
sisters from another mother.
yes.
I adore her.
Oh, and she
So
adores you too. She talks so highly of you. She said, I have
thank
a
you.
friend
That's so
named Kelly. She
sweet.
used to tell me about it when you guys were at your treatments together. And she said, I
Yes.
met this girl named Kelly. I know you're from out of town or something. She said, we would meet up. And I thought that was so wonderful that you guys just
Yes,
set up
we
your times
planned
together.
all of our infusions together. We did. It
That's
was great.
that's
So
awesome. That is awesome.
that's
I love
a
it.
bummer, me not being on the Okravist anymore, because that was our guaranteed meetup every 6 months.
Yes.
And we would
Oh.
come in, and the whole infusion room, they literally would block an area off for us because we were troublemakers. And
I can see. That's good. Good troublemakers, though. They said,
exactly,
let them have their time. That's right. I love it.
if we gotta get the infusion, we might as well have fun doing it.
That's right. Absolutely. And then walk out and say, with good spirits. That's right.
Exactly.
Now, can you tell me, Kelly, how you would approach discussing your conditions with, oh gosh, let me try this again. Kelly, hi. No,
Hi. Hi,
okay.
Rhonda.
Oh my God. Could you tell me how you would approach discussing your conditions with others, especially those who might not know anything about it?
I I don't hide it.
Hmm.
If it comes into conversation, I will tell them, what's going on. And I also encourage them to ask questions.
Hmm.
I would rather educate people because I don't want them to be afraid.
Yes.
I people, if they don't know, then they might think it's contagious. They could think anything. And if they
Mm,
have any questions, I don't have any problem sharing it.
that's good. That's great. I have to fault myself on something with that, and I'll share a little story. I used to walk in the multiple sclerosis walkathon for years.
Hmm.
And the year before I was diagnosed, this lady passed us and she says, well, thanks for walking. We said, oh, thank you. And she says, do you know anyone with MS? We said, no. She said, you do now? I said, really? She said, yes, I have MS. I asked no questions. I said, oh, I'm sorry. I'll pray for you. She said, thank you. And she kept going. The very next
Right.
year, I was diagnosed. Had I asked one question, I would have had some idea, like you did. One of his MS, I would have had some idea.
Right.
But
How
that's
long
why
did it take you to get diagnosed between your first symptoms and
I want to say 8 months. Yeah, they thought it was
yeah,
stress. They wanted me to go see a psychiatrist, and and the
right.
psychiatrist looked at me and said, "Why are you here?" I said, "They said I have stress," and they
Right.
said, "No, it's something physically wrong with you." Oh my
That's the
gosh.
hard part, is it's so hard to, which I think they're getting better at now,
Yes.
but it's hard. And that I got to the point where I wanted, okay, tell me I have a brain tumor. Just
Yes.
tell me what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Mm-hmm.
if you know what it is, then
You
you
know
can
how to
have a
deal with it.
goal.
That's right. You know how to deal with it. Absolutely. And then with not knowing, it's the hardest thing because you don't know how
Yes.
to deal with what. I just want to know what's wrong. How about
100%.
a bug bite? They thought I had a bug bite. Have you heard that one before?
Oh,
Lyme's
geez, no.
disease. They thought
No.
I had Lyme's disease. So I had three
Unbelievable.
choices. You Lyme's disease, you have MS, or you have what's the one that section internal, yeah, internal it's related to multiple sclerosis. They told me I had Lyme's disease, multiple sclerosis, or infection internal organs. It's just like the other, you know what MS does in the brain.
Your MS brain. Brain
That's
fog.
right. That's right. That's definitely
We'll
a
get
brain
back to
fog.
that.
That's right. Now, okay, now this is a good one that I want to know. Can you tell me your memorable moment and achievement that you're proud of since you were diagnosed, other than walking now without a cane?
Yeah,
That-
this is a big one.
yes.
Goodness. Oh, I just would say that I just hit my 20-year mark with my job. I
Nice,
still
nice.
work full time. And that's another thing. My employer is amazing. They're
Oh,
so good to me. They've always looked out for my best interest.
nice.
Uh, but I'm very proud of being with a company for 20 years and being what I consider successful.
Yes.
you know,
That is
that's
beautiful.
that's probably my, I mean, aside from family,
Yes.
my best achievement would be work.
Awesome. Your other family away from home because you're there so many hours a day. It's almost like
Well, I
another
work
family,
from
right?
home.
Oh,
I work
good.
from home, so
Okay.
yeah. So,
Oh,
but I do
nice.
call them my North Coast media family. I'm
Awesome.
100%.
I love it. That's awesome, Kelly. Yes, 20 years, that is an achievement. That's wonderful. And I'm glad they're working with you. It just makes it even more, you know?
Yes.
um,
Yes.
Now, a lot of people do not understand MS. So, what do you wish people understood about living with a chronic disease like our multiple sclerosis? What do you think that you wish people would definitely understood better?
I would say if you know somebody with MS or you know somebody with a chronic disease, ask them questions.
Hmm.
Educate yourself. Get to me that means more trying to understand. I feel like that impacts me more when somebody wants to know what where the fatigue comes from, what makes you fatigued. I want them to ask me what's the hardest thing for you to do. there's
Hmm.
I mean, there's so many things that people don't know, and I know you're going to know this one, but when you're even walking across a room, in
Hmm.
our mind, we are navigating where you're going to step, what you're going to put your hand on, what you have to think before you do everything. And
Hmm.
sometimes it takes us a little bit longer.
Hmm.
I've had people get mad at me at the grocery store and just rude, terrible things
Hmm.
for, and we
Not
can't
knowing.
help it.
Hmm.
You know, it's terrible. It's hurtful. But then
Yes.
I've had other people that look me and my husband up and down if they think we're taking a handicap spot
Hmm.
when we don't need it.
Right.
Everybody is just so judgy
Hmm.
uh, from all
Without
angles.
knowing.
Yeah.
Without knowing, yes.
And I
Have you
think
ever been
that's
approached by that about saying, why are you parking in a handicap spot? Have you ever been approached?
when in the beginning, yes, I
Mm-hmm.
have been.
Mm-hmm.
And last time we were at the grocery store, my husband and I were holding hands, and a
Mm-hmm.
lady looked at us and he said, "She has MS."
Had to stop them right in their tracks. That's right. That's
Exactly,
right.
because
Exactly.
it's hurtful,
Yes. Because people don't
and
know.
it makes me sad on one hand, but it also makes me feel proud
Mm-hmm.
when people around me that love me, when they notice the looks that I feel.
Yes.
You know
They're
what I
paying
mean?
attention.
Because when you're walking towards somebody and you're dragging your foot, everybody looks down.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And when my daughter's next to me and she notices that,
Mm-hmm.
it just it makes me feel not so alone,
Yes.
you
Right.
know?
That is awesome. You're right. You're absolutely right about that because they are paying attention, and it's very important to pay attention. Very important. So I'm glad that they do. That is
Yes,
awesome. Yes.
100%. It makes me
Y-
so great. I'm so grateful and so blessed.
yes. You have a great family, Kelly. But they have a
Thank you.
great
I do.
family member too. Like I said, you have been a joy. You're light. I'm sure everybody's going to enjoy hearing you what you had to say about MS because your
Thank
journey
you,
has
Donna.
been amazing, Kelly. You are amazing. You
You
are
are too.
positive. Thank you, dear. Thank you so
I
much. You are so
I will
positive.
stay that way. Yes.
Yes.
And I'm so glad you're doing this to educate our other MS family that's out there. This is a true service and I'm so proud of you and
Oh, thank you.
honored.
Oh, thank you. We want everybody to know that we're all together at this, but at the same token, we can all get through this, right?
100%.
And with people like you
100%.
and our attitudes, it'll get us through
Mhm.
it.
Right.
And we'll get us through
Absolutely.
it. Oh, Kelly, I really, truly appreciate what you said. I really appreciate you can compliment me and giving me support on this. I really do. I really thank you for supporting me and being there and doing this with me.
100%.
You have
Yes,
been a great
I'm
guest.
here anytime you need anything. I'm here to
Oh,
help.
thank you so much. We
You're
have to meet
welcome.
each other, okay? We have to really meet each
Yes,
other.
yes, definitely,
I know everybody probably would like to
definitely.
meet people like Kelly. He's a wonderful person.
Oh, stop.
So I would like to thank you again for doing this podcast with me, Kelly. I would like to tell you to continue staying strong, continue staying positive, continue making people laugh because you're going to go a long way and you're going to make everyone else go a long way.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank you
so
so
much, Rhonda.
much.
I've had
Uh,
it's been a blast.
Thank you for watching today. I really enjoyed hearing the story of my guest today. And I would like to thank you for taking your time to watch and for your support for Unstoppable MS with No Boundaries. Again, my name is Reese. If you ever want to share your story, I would love to hear it. I'm learning everything day by day by the more people we speak with, and our family and friends will know our stories as well and know that we are not alone. Thank you again for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Have a great day.